You Can't Read. That was the title of an English project that I had a little over a year ago. It was going against summer, and our teacher, we were done with most of the grades or evaluations that we were supposed to have over the year. But our teacher wanted to have one more, just a small task to give anyone the opportunity to get a higher grade if they wanted and if they did a good job, or for herself to make it easier to give us the final grade of the year. She didn't really give us any instructions for the project. It was just very simple. Make, I think it was only like make something that you can show. And so it could be a poster or some piece of paper or a sculpture. And it was just towards the end of the year, so we didn't really have anything else to do, so we had very long time on that specific project. Now, for the first few weeks, I had no idea what to do. 2-3 weeks passed, and I was like, I guess through the conditioning of the schools, maybe, I was not able to do anything without being specifically told what to do. But something happened, and suddenly something started to form in my mind. I started to have an idea, and all of a sudden I got this clear idea that I should make a piece of paper and I should write "You can't read." And it's not that you physically can't read, because of course you can read the title, but I had been noticing lately at that time that my attention span was really weak, and it had started popping up into social media and into the self-improvement space that a shortening of the attention span is a problem, and that TikTok especially is a big part of that. And finally, in the weeks and days before I started to get this idea of what I should do for the project, my friend, which I had in my class, and we were always together, always doing tasks together and stuff in class. And always in class, teachers will tell you like, oh, read this article real quick and we'll discuss it openly, or like you're getting tasked to read something very shortly. And we was scrolling on the same PC, me and my friend, and reading this thing. And after reading like a page and we were scrolling, we were done, and I was telling him like, oh yeah, so like, what do you think of this and that that we were reading about? And he was like, to be honest, I just forgot. And and I was like, come on, man, like we had one job, like read this one page and then discuss it. And he had forgotten it, not even remembering anything of what he had read like seconds after reading it. And I heard some other students say basically the same thing a few days later. And suddenly I got this idea to write "You can't read." It was just really simple, my project. I had 2 pieces of paper which I taped together to make a bigger piece of paper, and I took a big black marker and I wrote "You can't read." And then I drew a little stick man with holding a book, and in a thought bubble I drew an iPad with some icons on it, like app icons. And my idea was to just have a super simple piece of paper and then just explain to people in class who were interested and came over to my spot, and to explain to them the issue with shortening attention span and stuff like that. And it worked out really good. The other students had made, in groups of 3 or 4, they made like some sort of sculptures which is glued on hearts and peace symbols and stuff like that. And they were like fighting, I guess, climate change, and they were clearly voting for feminism and stuff like that. but they didn't really have anything to say. They just had a thing, and like when I was asking questions, they were just like, I don't know. I guess you can read on the thing, and I was like, okay. Well, we've had a project about something you can show, and they didn't have anything, or I guess they had something to show, but they couldn't talk about it. My project was completely the opposite, where I didn't really have much to show, but I could talk about it. And spoiler alert, the teacher really liked it, so it secured me the top grade, which was great. But when people came over, I was explaining why the app icons were in the thought bubble while the stick man was trying to read. And I was saying that, well, everyone thinks they can read, right? Of course you can read, but in this modern day and age, if you try to read 3 pages, you don't remember anything. And as you know, since you are on the self-improvement space, you probably know what the shortening of the attention span is, and why it's affecting you, and what its implications are. So I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I was explaining it to them, and everyone was saying like, oh, that's so smart. Like they were literally saying those words, it is so smart. But and they all agreed as well. They were like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, and many people were admitting as well, like, oh yeah, that's exactly how I have it with, I'm trying to read, and then it's just, I don't know what I'm reading, half a page in, and I'm out of breath just going up these hills. But as soon as I was done talking, and they were standing there, especially girls as well, like looking up to me like, oh, so smart, and like they had these glittering eyes. And then when I was done talking, done explaining it to them, they just turned around, like, oh yeah, that's so cool. They turned around, and half a meter away, they pull up their phone and just like on their phone again. And I was just standing there like, come on, what had I just been saying? And it just occurred to me then, this was the event that I was talking about yesterday as well, that just right there and then I was like, oh, I need to go speak about this, which never happened if you watched yesterday's video. Oh, look at this. Can I? No, I can't change the. Oof. Well, I thought it was really interesting, the project that I had, and my teacher, she loved it. I think I said it yesterday that she is probably the best teacher I've ever had, and she was really cool, and she was probably the best teacher I will ever have as well. She was a very interesting woman. I think she was like 28. Oh, that was wet. She was like 28 years or something, and she had really short hair, quite tall, taller than me, skinny, but she would come to school with the most outstanding of outfits. She would come with like a clear lime green dress to school, like, or sometimes she had a glowing golden dress, or other times as well she would have a jumpsuit with leopard patterns on it and like slippers, and she would just come and like, what's up guys, today we're gonna and I loved her, so cool. But she really liked my project, and she told me afterwards like it was really clever, the simplistic design I had, and it was a really important topic that I brought up. And all the other students agreed as well when I was explaining to them, but none of them took action. They just turned around and took out their phones again, and I was really disappointed. I remember when I saw that, because it was like I thought I could make a change to just my classmates, but apparently I couldn't, because when I was explaining it, it was like it was hard to get the point out, but I think I did a good job like explaining how your mind it thinks about other things when you're trying to read, and they seem to agree, but they didn't get into them. And I think that might even be part of the same problem with me trying to explain something, and you're getting some information into your head, but it doesn't stick there. You don't understand, or it don't seem to fall into places, what you've just heard. And that's also part of why I want to make this YouTube channel, which I hope to get the message broader out, and to also do a better job explaining. And I hope it helps, and I hope that you can take away from this video that though you're able to understand the title of this video, you can't read, but there is something in it which describes that you might not understand what you read. And something that helped me overcome this is meditation, and that is what I want to talk about in the next upcoming videos. How to meditate, why to meditate, and the benefits of meditation, because it really helped me, and not only to start to read again, and now I really enjoy reading, and I can take away complex information from books, because I remember what I read, as opposed to reading half a page and have to start over again because I don't know what I'm reading. So meditation is the next subject, and yeah, stay tuned for that.